Selena. Speaking of Instagram profiles, you were in the military, correct? We have our Instagram. We have some photos of you when you were in the military. Nick, if you're able to pull that up, it should be, I think, the last tab, the Selena's Instagram. It should be already scrolled down. You got it?
No. Oh, hold on a second.
Her Instagram tab.
Get ready to see a girl boss. I love her.
It's like the last. It should be the very last tab.
Are you? Army girl. I love an army girl.
All right, so. Okay, you got right. Oh wait, scroll up a little bit. Scroll up.
Cute. So with the army fit. Yes.
What's the? Click on that one.
Oh, slay.
Which one's you?
You don't know which one's me?
You're wearing a hat and you're looking down.
Third.
Yeah.
The third.
Yeah, that's me.
In the third?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
That's the day I graduated.
All right. Nice. Okay. What branch of the military were you in?
I was the Marine Corps.
Marine Corps. Were you dating at all while you were in the military?
So I didn't finish my contract. I have make TikToks about that, so I'm pretty honest about that.
You were dishonorably discharged?
No. I have an honorable.
Oh,
I just didn't finish my contract. I get vet benefits, and I have an honorable, so I didn't do anything like super like fucked up.
I see.
I did.
Were you deployed?
No.
Okay.
I was stationed in Camp Lejeune.
Okay. Oh, were you reserves or officer or enlisted?
I was going active duty.
Huh? Were you enlisted or officer?
Enlisted.
Okay. And you said you were in the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
Were you dating at all while in the military?
No, I tried, but it just didn't work out.
A WM? Really?
What?
A WM who didn't date?
Okay,
wait, what's a WM?
Woman Marine?
Oh, woman. Okay.
Okay, like I hooked up and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I had.
Oh, that's what I meant.
Oh, okay.
Kind
Yeah.
of.
Yeah, when I was younger, I did hook up a lot. It's not what I like to do now.
What do you mean a lot? When you say a lot, what do you mean by a lot?
He probably knows, and if he brought it up, like, you know, joining the Marine Corps and getting there, I got a lot of attention. Like,
Yeah, WMs have a reputation.
It's not like that.
Okay, but they do, right?
You're right. You're not wrong. I agree.
Yeah. They have the WMs have a reputation for spending more time on their back than they do running in the field. That's.
He's not wrong.
Yeah.
He's not wrong.
Isn't it the case that women in the military get quite a bit of attention? From the other soldiers?
It is. It's just that WMs have a worse reputation than that too.
What's that?
I don't know why, but they do.
Is it true?
I won't disagree. It's a stigma, yes.
Yeah.
But you said you were doing a lot of hooking up. What does that mean?
I did. So I graduated. I got there when I was like 21. I joined late, and so like all of high school, I was a virgin. I didn't date or drink alcohol or nothing. So I never really like experienced any of that until I joined the military. So it was something I experimented in.
Okay.
But more so with the hooking up, it was more so like I got played a lot when I was younger, and I felt the need to have sex to keep a man at the time because I was young and dumb. So like it was. Some people when they do hookup cultures because they're enjoying it. I personally didn't enjoy it. It made me feel very empty, and I just did it because I was lonely and it's to fill a void. And it sounds kind of stupid, but I was like years ago.
Okay. And you said you spent a year and a half dancing in a Marine town.
Yep.
I now dance in a college, older businessmen town, but still reside in a military town, so a lot of experience with Marines, Navy. Were you dancing while you were in the Marines?
No, it's technically not a thing.
You can't do that. Okay, well, so you weren't doing it in any case. And you said you wanted to talk about dating as an exotic dancer.
Yeah.
Well, I just had two questions on that, and if you want to expand more broadly on just dating as a dancer. Was someone else here a dancer? Are you, anybody else done any?
Together.
You danced together? Yeah. Anybody else dance? Anybody? Okay, well.
We just have different views.
Would either of you guys date a customer?
I mean. So I get a lot of customers that come in that do try to date me, but it's hard to weed them out. But I've also met some very genuine men through there, and it sucks that you meet them at the club. But you know, it's just like meeting a guy anywhere. But
is it so? It's an immediate disqualifier if you meet the guy at the club.
It depends. I wouldn't like you're not supposed to, but I prefer to be honest to you guys.
Sure.
I wouldn't be opposed if I found the right gentleman, you know, like, and I don't want to meet them there. It just depends on how he is there. Like, if he's coming in there being super like sexual and disgusting and wanting favors from me, no. But you know, if you're just a normal human being, whatever, you should come in with your friends, just there to chill. But like, I personally wouldn't want a man that goes to the club.
It is a big red flag that they're coming into the club in the first place, because you know we see the type of men that are wanting to go into the strip club, right? so we know what type of guy that they are, and usually it's just a red flag. But like she said, if they're genuine and like
Sure.
kind and like they don't go into the strip club often, then yeah, it would probably be.
Sure.
I wouldn't mind.
So then, if it's a red flag for a customer to go into a strip club, to just be a customer at a strip club, then is it similarly a red flag for, like, say, the civilian population to be a stripper? Is that a red flag?
It's a little bit different. So the men are going into the strip club to consume a sexual fantasy, right?
Okay.
We are providing the sexual fantasy for money. So we are not actually, we are participating in the sexual fantasy kind of on a third party basis. We are not, you know,
Go ahead. Don't worry, it's just the soundboard.
Yeah.
They're
Go
so
ahead.
loud.
She's upset by that one. Okay.
I'm not upset.
They're just like jarring.
Is it a red
like-
flag that a person's willing to date a stripper at all? Is that a red flag?
Like just be in a relationship with
Yeah.
a stripper? Not necessarily, because we're people.
You don't think that's a red
too.
flag for a guy? Like if you were to have a daughter, for instance, would you ever make a recommendation to your daughter? You should ever date a person who would date a stripper? You know what I mean? Like wouldn't that be a big red flag for anybody to say you probably shouldn't date a stripper?
It depends. Like, do you want to date a stripper just because she's sexually versed?
Well,
or
like the kind of
well
person who would date a
versed?
stripper. Do you think that those are usually high quality people? Like, just if you had to guess.
But to add to that, in the same way that you said it, the fact that these men are going into the strip club, in terms of dating them, you view them simply by virtue of consuming whatever, you view that as a red flag. If they're a customer, it's a red flag. Would you object to men saying that it, just by virtue of you guys being strippers, that's a red flag? Yo, AB Check, thank you for the gifted 50 memberships.
I would object to it. I think it's relatively valid because sex can be viewed, you know, sex and sexual interactions are valued differently between different people. So if that man were to come into a talking stage or whatever and say, I value sex, you know, in this way, I value sex sacredly, if the man were to say that, right? And to not want a relationship with a stripper because she is a sex worker, I think that would be valid. But it's not, I don't think it's the same as women.
So you're saying that it's okay for strippers to view the customers as red flags. You wouldn't be willing to date a customer, generally speaking, but if men view strippers as red flags, that's not acceptable.
I didn't say it's not acceptable, but I think it's acceptable in a different way.
I can
Do you
answer that
object?
too.
Yeah.
If I were to say, for example, I wouldn't date a stripper, do you object to that?
There are objections that I have to that.
What
Why?
specifically?
It's just a job. For me, in my eyes, it's just a job. But if you
Right,
view it
but-
as differently,
Well, now,
You know,
I wouldn't date
there's
a stripper.
tons
Why-
of prostitution that goes on with that
Yeah.
job.
I'm not a prostitute.
I'm not
She's
saying you
far
are. I
from being
didn't
a
say that either of you are. I said there's tons of prostitution which comes along in strip clubs, especially. I have plenty of buddies who are bouncers, talk about it constantly. In fact, a lot of them say that you're hard pressed even to find women inside those clubs who don't engage in prostitution.
I think it depends on the state, the regulations of the club. But yes, in both the clubs that we've worked at, I think that there are prostitutes.
Do you think a guy's insecure if he doesn't want to date a stripper?
He could be, and he couldn't be.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Because I've dated some that, you know, didn't want to.
Why is it okay for you to not want to date a customer, but if a guy doesn't want to date a stripper, that's problematic?
I think it's because
It's Dave Chappelle. Let's just go ahead. Go ahead. Oh my God. Go ahead.
will you throw me off track and then expect me to just jump back in? I'm trying to provide good arguments
go
and
ahead,
stuff. It's
go
just
ahead.
like, gotcha, bitch. Okay.
No, Dave Chappelle said that, not me.
Okay. That's why I said I included the button part. What was the question? I'm sorry.
What?
He was asking, why is it okay for you not to want to date a customer, but it's not okay for a man not to want to date a stripper?
It's problematic, which I like the word that you used, for a man, just because it shows that he cannot grasp the idea that dancing is just a job.
Or maybe he just doesn't want a woman who dances naked in front of other men.
And that's okay. That's valid. I think that's a
Yeah,
valid
if
reason.
You don't think it's problematic then?
If you think you're too insecure to have a girlfriend that does that, then that's totally fine. That's your preference.
No,
Wait,
it's
why
not
is
that I
that
think I'm too
insecurity?
insecure.
I
I
think
just
that-
don't. I don't
if
want.
you
I don't
think
want.
that your
Please,
standards-
ladies.
I don't think it's problematic
ladies,
for a preference.
ladies. Allow me to make this point. It's not that I'm too insecure. I just don't want to share my woman and her body with other men. It's that simple.
Yeah, it would make you feel bad if that happened.
I just don't want to share
I feel like that's kind
my
of a
woman's
close
body
feel-
with other
yeah.
men.
No, it's okay, Chase. If
I
you're
get-
too
I
so
get it.
insecure you can't let
No,
your
if
woman
I'm in
have
a-
sex
if
with
I
other
was in a
men.
relationship-
Yeah, exactly,
then,
exactly.
I mean, if you're
If
that
I was
insecure,
doing it,
Chase.
like-
See, I could
the guy was
flip
doing
flip
that,
the same
maybe-
argument.
yeah, maybe
would
I
you
would've wanted-
prefer if you had a boyfriend, would you prefer if he was loyal to you?
Yeah.
I think it's just because you're so insecure
It's
that
totally
you don't want him to
insecure,
sleep
yeah.
with other girls.
Yep, I agree. Massive insecurity.
That's a big it just you don't like how it makes you feel.
Honestly,
see, that's-
like,
that's
the
your
thing is,
argument.
like, that only comes after, like, an actual relationship being established.
Yeah, but a relationship would have already been established, and you're, you know, under the same scenario where you're dating is a person or a girl who strips, right? So the relationship's established. You say, well, that's pretty weak of you. It's pretty weak of you to not want to date a girl who is a stripper, right?
Yeah, because up until that point, he thought I was, like, amazing. He thought I
until
was
you
someone
started to show your
Okay.
naked body to other men. So wouldn't that fall right along the same guidelines that Chase is saying of, hey,
Well, I'm saying he can have that preference, yeah, but does he get to go around and tell everyone that that is the number one preference and that's how you're going to be happy?
yes.
I do say
But
that.
that's not the only way you're going to be happy.
I'm not saying it's the only way that you're going to
But
be
that's
happy,
how you're
but
preaching.
by
I mean,
when you're,
look,
when you're
look,
telling
look.
all of these people that,
Look,
then that's how it appears.
Why do we have to
I know-
appease
I
all the
know-
outliers in society? Most men don't want their
There's just a
chicks to
live
hump other
podcast.
dudes. That's simple, right?
If you took a poll of the thousands of men that are watching this and you asked them, are you okay with your woman showing her naked body to other men? I would argue probably 99.9% of them would say no.
Maybe I've met a decent amount of.
There's an
okay
echo
men.
Well, you
chamber
do,
as
but you
well.
do sex work, so the pool of people that you're around are men who
Yeah.
want that.
Yeah.
But that's not representative of the population as a whole. The average guy does not want his woman naked around other men.
I'm not around
just-
other men when I'm naked.
Okay.
Can I
One-
still answer your question?
I don't
Oh,
think you
yeah,
know
go
my
ahead, go
preference.
ahead. And then I have a follow-up, and then I have to move on
I
to
thought you
something.
said you had an OnlyFans.
Is that being naked around other men, or is that me posting a picture?
You're naked to
and
other
them,
men.
Them seeing.
Well, I
naked
mean,
to-
it's just
to say
I
it's-
guess it's a distinction without
basically the
merit.
same
It
because
is
he's
a
saying
very big
if you
distinction.
show your naked body to other men, that's the problem.
Yeah, exactly.
So
if
back,
they're paying for a
Yes,
service.
especially if
Go
they're
ahead.
so
paying
back
for
to your
it.
question about
Okay.
the whole,
That makes it 10 times worse, maybe.
I don't think so.
Go ahead,
Yeah.
go ahead,
So the
Selena.
average guy, yes.
Go ahead, Selena.
So
You would rather you'd rather me send free titty pics instead of getting
Okay.
No, I
paid
think,
to
we're
get
I
moving
think
on.
that
We're having women
I think
send
that the
which,
likelihood.
which version is like the better woman
Yeah,
for
no,
you?
no,
I'm
I
just
think that the
curious.
likelihood
None.
that
None.
Neither?
None.
She should just never take a titty pic in her whole life.
Yes.
Okay, let's find him a girl that's never done that.
There's plenty of
There's
them
a
out
lot
there.
of-
There's
queen, yeah.
plenty
A lot
of
of
them
them.
out
Help you
there.
find them. You're gonna be happy.
I already have. I'm not worried about it.
But you just said that your relationship is okay.
Wait.
Well, they're
Okay.
they're Christian.
I was
there's-
confused on
they're
his
Christian, that's their
relationship
valid.
status.
What
I
actually
said my
baffles
relationship
me-
status was private, but what I'm saying about women out there who won't take those pictures is there's plenty of them, and I know a lot of them.
This actually baffles me that you were like, oh, you think that there's a magical unicorn out there who's never sent a dude a titty pic. Huh? That's what that
Yeah,
sounded
like-
like.
Yeah, where?
Yeah, see what I mean?
It's
Like,
just the
There's
shaming
a lot of
part.
conservative women out there who don't do
The
that.
magical unicorn.
I believe that
Straight,
it's. I
straight.
think it's. In my opinion, I think it's totally okay
I
for
don't think
guys
I've
to
met
not want
one
to date sex
woman-
Stop.
workers.
Let her speak.
I think it's okay for men to not want to date sex workers, but the shaming part is what I don't like because
Yeah.
Yeah.
it causes more violence towards sex workers because they're more likely to get in.
No, what
in
causes violence towards sex workers is the fact that they're sex workers. So
Yes,
shaming them
no.
out
But
of being
everyone
sex
has
workers means there's less violence
So
towards
being a
sex
sex
workers.
worker
I agree.
inherently means
I
that
agree.
Everyone
you should be like.
No,
what?
he's not
No.
saying that it means that
No,
you
listen,
should be on the
listen,
receiving
let's
end of
pretend-
violence.
The reason why this is happening to you is because you do sex.
No,
work.
let's
That's what
pretend.
you're saying.
Let's pretend
Sex
for a
workers
second. Yeah.
consort with men who are more likely to be violent
Right.
towards them. is the point.
Yes, but why are they in that job?
Okay,
It's
hold on.
survival. There's many
We're
different
getting
reasons.
Yeah, but what
Weeds
you're
here.
saying is
There's
don't
many
shame.
different
Last thing from Andrew, and then I'm moving on.
But think about how
ahead.
silly
Can I
this
answer the
is.
question?
Your argument is actually the women who are sex workers get abused. Shaming women so that they stop being sex workers is bad, even though if they weren't sex workers, they wouldn't be getting abused as sex workers. That's the argument. It's insane.
People were
Moving-
abused
nope.
before
No, no, no,
they
no.
I
entered
agree
sex
somewhat
Stop.
with that.
We're moving on. Selena,
All right,
I have a final question here related to this.
Okay.
So when it comes to your customers, what do you call them? Tricks, marks? Maybe you can answer this too.
Oh, I just call them my customers.
You don't look down on them at all? Like call them
No.
tricks or marks?
No,
or?
I mean I have a viral TikTok I made talking about the boots that come in. Boots are like newly Marines that just graduated.
okay.
And they just triggered some people, but I call like.
Sure.
But I was gonna answer your question that I was supposed to answer like 10 minutes ago.
Which was what?
The one about it being a red flag of like me being
Oh,
a stripper.
sure, if you wanna
It's
answer that, go
Because
ahead.
I did have a different view from her. But
Sure,
like,
sure.
Because so I'm very like I think I told you I'm more traditional even though I am a stripper. It just sounds kind of weird, but
Ladies, no sidebar
I would,
conversations, please.
You what?
She never mind.
Do you guys need water? Okay, Nick, can you get them some water, please?
No, I'm straight. No, I'm good.
Huh?
You don't.
You guys have just derailed 30 seconds of the conversation. Go ahead.
Okay.
My apologies.
So, I would agree. I know that I am a red flag just by being a stripper. So I understand that.
They don't need I don't think they need water. I'm not clear at.
Damn it,
Grid
Nick.
One Motorsports
Guillotine.
donated $200. And this is why feminism is toxic. There is no realm in which sending strangers nude pics should be acceptable, let alone consider the norm. But feminism says it is okay. Girl power. Get the rocks.
I'm just frustrated because Selena hasn't had a lot of time to talk, and when
about
she
for
is
5
talking, you guys are sidebarring while she's trying to make her point.
Yeah.
But
So
You were saying that you do think it is a red flag
yeah,
for you
I
to be a
do.
stripper.
I'm very understanding
Okay.
of that, and like a lot of men judge me for being a stripper, but I understand. Like I wouldn't want a man that strips, and it sounds hypocritical of me. But if I were to meet a man that wants to be in a long-term relationship with me, and he told me to stop, obviously I'm my own provider. I take care of me. So if I date a man and he wants me to stop, he's gonna have to step up and help provide, because clearly I'm paying for
Sure.
everything else. I think that's a fair thing to
Yes.
ask
And
for.
this is
Can I commend her real quick? This is, I think, aside from some comments you've made, the first accountability that I have heard tonight. The fact that you said, yes, I recognize that it's a red flag that I'm a stripper. I respect that accountability. I've been waiting to hear some accountability from this table for several hours
I haven't
now.
had time to speak, so.
Yeah, I respect it. I respect it.
And
Thank
I think
you.
one of the big differences is, I think as men, we accept our deficiencies and we accept that this might preclude us from dating certain women. For example, I acknowledge that by virtue of doing this podcast, some women, perhaps a lot of women, wouldn't want to date me. I'm not thinking they must be insecure. Frankly, I just don't care. I don't care, but it seems like women, for example, who are involved in sex work really want to like get on this crusade about, well, if you don't want to date me because of what I do for work, there's something wrong with you. So,
Yeah, but on the other hand, but then he did go on to kind of qualify it with, if a guy wanted to date me, right, he would have to pay for my lifestyle to the sufficient standard that I could then quit being a stripper, right? Don't you think that's counterintuitive?
Well, I do have other stuff that I'm working on. Like I've only been dancing for a year and a half. Before that, I was a car salesman. So like, see, you might disagree. I see dancing as sales. I see everything as a sale. I love sales.
Well, there's a sales component to it, but there's a sales
All of
component
life
to
is
any
sales.
form of anything.
So, you know, I'm doing other things with my life. Like I am working on starting a side business. I want to go back to school and finish real estate school. I am prepping to bodybuild. So I have all these stuff I'm doing.
Can I ask a question I've always wanted to ask in this situation? I haven't had the opportunity, but now I finally get to. What is actually the worst thing that would happen in your life if you just stopped stripping tomorrow?
If I stop streaming tomorrow,
Yeah.
I go broke and have no like.
Well, I mean,
Can't you get another job?
do you go broke, or do you just downsize in life?
I mean, there have been moments where I've thought about stopping completely because I'll be honest, I'm not proud to be a stripper. It doesn't make me happy. I don't find it empowering.
Yeah,
or
yeah. No, I get
fulfilling.
all that, but what's
But-
the worst? What's the worst realistically that would happen if you got, like, let's say, just a different job?
I don't make as much to support my current lifestyle or the things I want to pursue in life. Right now, stripping pays for my bills and lets me pursue things like bodybuilding and my side business and other stuff I want to for the meantime. So that's why I do what I do now, even though I hate it, because I have the money to do all the things to set myself up for the future.
okay, I need to move on. All right.